Hello, my lovely souls, and welcome back to the podcast. My name is Teags, the host of Teagsley Talks, and today we are going to talk about, well, firstly, it's going to be kind of a huge life update because it's been a while, and then we're just going to talk about some things about moving and some lessons that I've learned from moving and everything that's happened in the last month. Let's do a month update. So, let's dive in. Let's do our breath work. We're going to start with Samovritti, my favorite breath, which is even breath, or it can be also referred in a way as box breathing. So we keep the same inhale as exhale, and we will hold at the top and the bottom for the same time as well. And we always like to start with 4 seconds. That's closest to the breath that we have naturally, and then we can generally increase it. But we'll just do a couple of rounds here. So get comfortable if you can. Make sure you're not doing this while you're driving. Close down the eyes if you can, and just take a nice deep breath in through the nostrils. Holding for a moment at the top, and exhale out the mouth. Inhale in. Hold at the top. Exhale out. Hold at the bottom. Inhale in. Holding at the top. And then open the mouth, exhale, sigh it out. I'm really hoping that no one can hear the extra sounds. I currently don't live on the beach anymore, so it's not stillness or the sound of the ocean. There's cars, there's dogs, there's Mr. Whippy that drives past every day. I think it's Mr. Whippy. I'm yet to have an actual look out the window when it drives past, but yeah, hopefully you can't hear any noises. So let's set the intention for the week. This is obviously going to help me for the week, and also if anyone else is feeling the same as me. So I would really love to set the intention for this week is to just do things with intention. So making sure that we are waking up with intention, we are exercising with the intention, we are eating with the intention, we are like each daily step with an intention, because I feel like a lot of the time we do things unintentionally without any presence, without any, like no depth behind why we do the things that we do. So this week I really want to make sure I slow things down. I'm doing things really intentionally, and yeah, just feeling a bit more purposeful in all of my actions rather than just doing things. So that's the intention for the week. Do things with more intention. Okay, let's dive into the life update, which is probably going to be predominantly the entire podcast because a lot has happened. So when I last spoke to you, I had actually pre-recorded before Fiji. And if you are new here to the podcast, I go to the Pacific Islands with a business called Future Leaders Academy, and we take year 11s and 12s, and if you're a New Zealander, 13s, to the Pacific Islands for a leadership program. And I am one of the syndicate coaches, so I take 10 to 12-ish students for the week, and there's usually 4 syndicates, and then we go through the week and we do lots of leadership things. The students gain lots of confidence and lots of things to do with conflict resolution, and how to communicate, just lots of things, setting goals and all those types of things. Anyway, it's a really beautiful week. It's full on, it's huge, but it is a really beautiful transformation that the kids get at the end. So I went to Fiji, and I went to Fiji last year as well. And we had, I can't even remember how many students, but like 40-ish, mid-40s. And we stay just, I think, south of Nandi, the sort of main area, and we stay along the beach in like a hostel vibe on the beach, and it's centrally located for all of the activities that we do, relatively. So yeah, I went to Fiji in the last week of September, first week of October, and it was really, really cool. I had a really awesome bunch of students. Even I had two that we've previously had, one that was in my syndicate, one that wasn't. So that was really cool to see them come back and get something different from the course. And yeah, it was a really fun week. We have a day out on the boat, planting coral and snorkeling around, and that was really, really cool. We had a day on a hike, which is really fun. We basically just hike directly up this mountain for an hour and a half or 2 hours. I can't remember. It's all a blur. Yeah, so we have a hike that you hike directly up a mountain for a couple of hours and then back down. We also visit a historical site, which is really cool. And we actually went to the same one that I went to last year. That's what the kids wanted to do. And then probably the most wholesome thing that we do is we work with a local community and we help them with their community hall. So last year we painted their community hall and gave them some mats for their floor. And then this year we put plywood on the inside so you didn't like see the beams of the building. So that was really, really awesome. And we have like a night with them where we do like a kava ceremony and a lovo, which is their way of how they have their traditional food. And yeah, it's so wholesome. The kids absolutely love it. We perform our songs for them, they perform songs for us, and yeah, it's really, really wholesome. And we also do like lots of other little things in between, and they're more like leadership topics and workshops and those types of things in between all of the, fun things. And then the last day we have our graduation, and that was really cool. We always go to like a really nice resort and have our ceremony there. And then after we headed to the beach and we all got to do some sort of activity. So some people went out on the boat and you do like a cave tour and a snorkeling tour, which I did last year. And then this year I actually just opted to get a massage because it's a huge week. And yeah, the massage was really nice on the beach. And then I actually got to go surfing. So one of the other syndicate coaches, she actually lives there with her family and they have just gotten into surfing. So they had a couple of surfboards that I could borrow and I took it out only for like 30 minutes while everyone was, busy doing their thing. And it was just so much fun. It was teeny tiny, like little waves. There was a couple of local kids on it and they have these like hell dinged up like DHD boards. Like they get given them. There's like some sort of cooperation there that donate boards to the Fijian locals to help them get better at surfing. Anyway, I just am like watching these kids throw around these DHD boards, and I can't remember what other board I seen there. Oh, an Elmeric. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this kid's like standing on it, like the fin's just in the sand. And anyway, they're probably already pretty dinged up, but they're definitely dinged up now. So yeah, that was just really fun to like surf. Yeah, so that was basically it. Fiji was really, really fun. So I just had some really cool kids, like great stories and their motivation and just what they want to get out of life. And yeah, it was a really wholesome, busy, fun, transformational week. So that was Fiji. And then we got back on the 5th, I think, and then it was time to pack up and leave our little beach village, which is so sad. Like I feel like I haven't really thought about it too much, but if you've missed the whole shenanigans of us living on the beach, not shenanigans, but journey, we lived on the beach just north of Noosa, and we literally had to drive on the sand to get to the house. And that is amazing. We are so lucky we even could have that experience, and we're so grateful. Absolutely loved our time on the beach. The only thing was that the car was just starting to get really rusty and having a few issues. And also just like for us as like a young couple new to town, it was just hard to like meet friends and like consistently see our friends because we were always so worried about the tide and we couldn't get home, and then even like the barge closing. So yeah, we had to always be thinking about the tides, because sometimes you actually can't even drive on the beach, you can't even get home, and then also the barge opening and closing at certain time, like they open and close. So we were just like, we were ready to get off the beach and live like as townies again, I guess you could say. And we ended up coming down south, very south, or northern New South Wales, I guess. Or is it? Actually, I've got no idea. I have no idea what they actually call the parts of the state here. And people keep asking why did we move off the beach? And that was the main reason, is just because of the rust and the conditions of the beach sometimes. It was just a little bit too much to deal with sometimes. So literally mid looking for a place in Noosa, and if you are on the sunny coast or just in an area where there's a slight rental crisis, you'll understand that finding a house at a decent price, it's tricky. So anyway, a friend that I met in Indo last year messaged me sort of out of the blue and asked if we want to rent their house that they will have ready mid-October. And I'd let Zach know, and I was like, wow, like never even thought to even live that far south, let alone like New South Wales. And we just kind of played with the idea for a bit. And then, because we wanted to go to Agnes Water first, but the lease ended in October, and then that means it's like the start of the build-up. And if you don't live in this part of the world, the build-up basically means it starts to get really, really hot before it starts to rain. And then it's the rainy season over summer. And honestly, we just didn't want to do that and then to move down south and then in the winter. We didn't want like 2 rainy seasons. So I'm really rambling here. So basically, we ended up saying, why not? And we've moved down here, down to around the Coffs Harbour area in New South Wales. And I honestly never even thought I would even move to New South Wales. Yes, maybe like Byron or like Yamba, but never would I have thought this far south. But it's actually so good. Anyway, well, like we're in 1 week. So is it 1 week or 2 weeks maybe? 2 weeks by the time you hear this. And yeah, so that's it. We literally took 2 weeks to pack up. And luckily Zach was actually smart enough to say, let's do 2 weeks after we both get home. Because I got home on the 5th and I think he got home on the 6th or something like that. So yeah, we took 2 weeks to kind of see everyone, have a couple of shindigs, and then come down south. And we borrowed our friend's trailer and we loaded that up. And it just so happens on the Saturday night before we moved, it rained. So luckily we have a neighbour and we parked under their house garage thing. And yeah, we had a couple of shindigs, one with like a work group, and that was really nice. Just nice to see that everyone came and like just all the nice things that everyone said to us. And yeah, it was just so nice. I don't know, I feel like I haven't had like a going away party ever because I just keep moving. Like people are like, oh, like cool, see you later. Anyway, so that was really, really lovely. And then we had one up at the village, and then a couple of people also came over to the house. And yeah, it was just so nice to feel so loved. Like, yeah, it's so interesting. I don't think I've actually ever had a going away party or anything, because in WA, I would just move to the next town, but I would always come back and like visit. Like it was just never like, I don't know. Anyway, so we wrapped it up at the beach. We drove down here on the Sunday. Can I just say, driving a trailer on the beach, like, props to those people carrying around like huge caravans. I'd carry the trailer and it was heavy, so heavy. I don't know how heavy, but heavy enough for me to feel it in the troopy. Anyway, so I drove my car, the troopy, with the trailer on the beach because Zach has a small like all-wheel drive and I definitely do not feel confident to drive that on the beach. We like got a friend to come with us as well in case one of us got bogged because it was really terrible beach conditions. And we had to wait for the tide and blah, 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 all these things. So we waited till the tide and it was still kind of like really high, and we basically just drove the whole beach on the soft sand. And we get to the end and we're at the cutting. And if you know this cutting, in that fortnight, there was someone bogged every time. Every time I would cross this cutting, someone or 2 people were bogged at least. Anyway, so we get to the cutting and there's this 78 Land Cruiser like Trayback ute fully bogged. And I was like, oh my gosh, if there's a cruiser bogged, like what hope have we got? And then we kind of watched them for a little bit and I was like, oh, okay, the tires obviously aren't let down and they obviously don't, that maybe they're new to driving on the beach. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll go first. So I go out and it was actually so easy. And I was like, why is that guy bogged? Like so terribly bogged. Anyway, I got off with the trailer, all good. I was like sweating. I was so nervous. And then like I literally look in my rearview mirror and Zach is there right behind me. So he made it off super easy as well. And so he has this all-wheel drive car. He has like 8 boards, maybe, I don't know, 8 boards on the roof of this thing and his 40-kilo e-bike on the back. Like this car was like fully loaded. Anyway, it was so funny. And apparently like, because our friends said as they watched us drive off the beach, they're like, it was so funny just watching you go with the trailer and then Zach like just putting behind you, like fully loaded all-wheel drive, like, and just cruising past this cruiser that was so bogged. And honestly, it just makes me laugh, like the things that we get up to. So made it off the beach and then, drove onto the barge. And it was like peak hour as well, like driving on the barge with a trailer. Also, props to those people that are driving huge caravans onto that barge. It is a tight squeeze. So and then we started our commute. Our hour was, I think it was like 7.5 hours by the time we'd like stopped and fueled up and eat and do all the things. So we drove in separate cars, which is so funny, like not even having each other to like talk to. And also, like no Ziggy. That was the first move that I've done without Ziggy, which I've cried a lot about. It's crazy. And even the house now just feels extra quiet because Ziggy's not here. And it's like, it's been 6 months, but Anyway, so now we are living down south. The first week that we got here was so windy, no surf. And then Zach had to go away to work. And then I got my period. So it's been like 2 weeks of like not ideal emotions, weather and all of the things. But yesterday, the weather finally turned good. It stopped raining and the sun came out and it came out. And the day before, we went surfing and the water was clean and it was just so nice. I'm like, wow, this is so good. And it was kind of a similar wave to what is up at Noosa, but like surfing with 6 people in the whole bay, which was amazing. I'm so glad that the weather has turned good because I'm so dependent on the weather. And I don't like saying that because I'm like, no, you choose how you feel. But like without the sun, I feel like I'm a shell of a human. From yesterday, I've just been trying to get back into things. I hadn't found a gym that I liked, but yesterday I went to one that I enjoyed and that I could do my own thing as well. And there are classes if I want to go to a class. There's also a sauna there, which is amazing. And then also like just finding where I want to do my beach walk in the morning. We're still super close. Like I ride the e-bike to the beach and then I go for a walk. And just getting like back into my rituals. I've still been meditating and like journaling lots because there's been a lot of emotions and just like getting back into the swing of things. Oh, and something else that I did, which I shared on Instagram. So if you're watching over on Instagram, you've already seen it, but I finally passed my free diving test, I guess you can call it. So last year I went to do my free diving with Connie from Curious Blue and I had so much trouble with my ears. It was also freezing cold and the viz was like, I don't know, a couple of meters. It was terrible. No, I think it was like 5 meter viz and it was really like sedimenty in the water. So like potentially really sharky. There were like whales with their babies and I was just getting freaked out last year and I was so cold that my jaw was chittering and then I'm not sure, like physiologically, that's not the word, but whatever, you know what I mean? But when you're like so cold, your jaw and your ears tense up. So then you have more trouble with your ears equalizing. So last year I just had so much trouble with my ears and just the fact that I couldn't even see the bottom of the line very well. So this year, conditions were definitely also not in our favor, but the water was clean. So very happy about that. We went out to just off of Tweed there's this island called Cook Island. I thought we were going to Cook Islands, but okay, whatever, that'll do. And we get to the island, and the swell is huge and there is not as much fizz. So then we go back off kind of just to where we kind of came from to look for a nice flat spot. And yeah, we found a spot. So we basically had to like drift and do our dives. So you're like holding onto the rope, getting like pulled by the boat with every wave, and trying to like stay on the line. Anyway, it was actually quite fine, but when you're on the top, you really felt it because the waves were like smacking you in the face, and like, yeah, your arm is just getting yanked every time. So yeah, and before I go on, I reset the pool day because I feel like the pool day is quite, like, I find it quite easy. And I was also thinking in my head, it will be a good confidence boost. So then I start off on the right foot rather than me being like, oh, I don't know where I stand. And I also haven't been free diving in months and months. Probably like so long. Anyway, so I wanted to redo the pool thing, and you basically just like relearn the skills, and you have to do a 25-meter swim with your fins and your belt. So I did that, and then you have the choice. You could do it again and do 50 meters. So I did that. I found it super easy. And then you have to do a static breath hold as well. And I think you only have to do a minute 30. But I did 2 minutes 30. And then last year I actually did 2 minutes 20. So I was really stoked that I still had a good breath hold. So in my head, I'm thinking I can swim 50 meters without needing to breathe, and I can hold my breath for 2.5 minutes. So I was like, surely that's enough time to get me down to the 10 meters with it taking time to like equalize my ears and get down. So we go out on the boat, and I'm just thinking like these conditions are not ideal, and the girls are just playing it so cool, which is great. And so we all get into the water. We actually first got into the water because there were whales around, and we were trying to chase these whales, and I got no footage. We did not see it. It disappeared, but it was like so fun. I felt really adventurous. And then so we get into the water, we get on the lines, and I just get so nervous. I'm like, oh my God, what if I don't pass again? And I was on the line with the 2 other girls that I had the pool day with, and they were just so lovely, and it was just fun, and they were calm, and it was just like hanging out with your friends on the line. It's all a blur. It's so crazy, but I attempted twice, and I still had some issues with my ears, but I was really calm. So like last year I would come up and be like, kind of like stressed and not necessarily out of breath, but I had fear that I wouldn't be able to hold my breath, and I was kind of rushing through it. But this year I was like, focus on the technique, like stack your hips over your shoulders, tuck your chin, like, and then just go down slowly, and you kind of like grab the rope, equalize with your other hand, and then you switch. So you're always like grabbing, equalizing, and getting yourself down really slowly. And the first couple of times, I think I only got to like 7-ish meters, so she said it was 5 meters, and I got to like 4 meters, and my ear was really hurting, so I came back up. I was like, bummer. And then the second time I tried again, and I got so close, but my ear was like screaming at me, and I couldn't pop it, and I kept trying to pop. I just like stayed there like upside down, like on the line, just trying to pop it. And I was just so calm, and I felt like I had so much time, and I just kept trying to pop it, and then it didn't. So then I turned around to come back up, and as I flipped, my ear popped, and I was like, oh, do I go down? And then I was like, okay, no, I'm not sure. Just go back to the top. So I went to the top, and she's like, what happened? I was like, as I turned around, my ear popped, so I could have gone back down. Like, should I have just gone and touched it? She's like, yeah, you could have. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I'll wait in and I'll go again. Anyway, so she lets the line down, and she's like, okay, well, this is at 8 meters. Then after that, she let the line down. Or did she let it down after the second one? And then she tells us that the line wasn't even 5 meters. It was 7 meters, and she only let a couple more out to make it 10 meters. And we were like laughing, like it was so good. Like we'd all done so well on our first couple of dives. We're like, okay, cool, it's 10 meters. Let's all have a go. And did I get it? Oh, I can't even remember now. But basically on the dive that I did get it, I went down, and I just took my time, like tried to pop my ears really slowly, and like held it for a little while and like not trying to like blow my ear up, but like just holding the pressure there, like really trying to like warm them up, they call it. And then finally it popped and I was like, yes. And like, because your goggles, like your depth perception is different, I like tried to reach it and it was a little bit further away. So I had to like equalize again and then go again. And it was just so funny that I'm like faffing around trying to like reach this thing like centimeters away from me. Anyway, I finally got it. And I was like, wow, that was so much easier than I thought. And then I like come back up, like la-di-da, cruise up, and I was like, wow, I did it. And she's like, good job. And it was just like, they were like the most supportive group of girls. It was so lovely. And then we went around to the island to then go swim with the turtles, and I jumped in the water and it was so murky, and I was like, nah. I feel like I'm a bit fussy with like where we go snorkeling, because I've just snorkeled in like such amazing conditions where I'm like, I don't need to see a turtle in like 1 meter viz, and it's making me nervous. So I got back in the boat and I don't really know what happened. It was quite rough conditions and 2 of the girls were sick. And then one of the girls on my line, she had a blood nose. She like did a blood vessel in her nose, and she like pulled up her mask and she's like just got blood everywhere. And I didn't know if it was coming from her eye or from her nose. Anyway, so I was feeling really gross from that. And I'm quite a sympathetic like person in general, but like when someone's sick, I feel sick. And then when there's blood involved, I do not feel well at all. So this boat is like rocking it wasn't even that rough. Like I've been in way worse conditions. Anyway, so all of a sudden I get this like warm wave that washes over me. My mouth gets all salivary and my belly's gurgling. And I was like, I don't feel well. And then I literally like leant over the boat, like gagged a couple of times. And that was it. Like I didn't even actually spew. I like literally just gagged. Anyway, after that felt totally normal, like completely back to normal, super random. So I got seasick, which is a first, which I'm glad it didn't last all day. And then, yeah, a couple of the girls tried to go find some turtles, but the viz was just terrible. So we made our way back in and we all ended up going for coffee at this place called Sun Devil, I think. And this like cowboy looking dude makes you this coffee, and they do like long blacks with pistachio foam. But obviously I don't drink coffee. So I had chocolate coconut water milk, you know, the Coca-Cola chocolate coconut water. That's what I had. And then they put pistachio foam on the top, and it was so yum. I have no idea how they make it. It's definitely not healthy, but it was delicious. So we went and did that, a few of us girls, and then we went to have like lunch together with everyone, and it was just the best day. It was just so nice to be surrounded by girls that we like doing the same thing, and like we love the ocean and being outdoors and like pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zone. Yeah, it was just so wholesome. So if you are wanting to do your free diving, contact either Courtney at Curious Blue or Bree at the Underwater Culture. They are so amazing, and Bree also does retreats, which I'm definitely going to jump on one. So yeah, if you are looking to do your free diving, I highly, highly recommend either of those 2 girls, and they often do things together now. So keep an eye out for them. I actually stayed up there for the 2 nights because I remembered last time how exhausted I was and trying to drive home after that. So I stayed, and I also really wanted to spend a day in Byron. I don't know what it is with Byron. I think I've said this before on the podcast, but I just love it. I know it's so busy there, like it's crazy busy, but I just love it. My soul is just so full when I'm in Byron. Anyway, so I want to spend a full Byron day. So I got up pretty early. I went to Byron for sunrise, and I walked the lighthouse, typical touristy walk. I walked the coast for the sunrise, and then I went for a surf at the pass. Finally, I feel like every time I've been to the pass, I either can't get a car park and I spend way too long looking for a car park, or the surf is too big, there were too many people, or there's been no surf. Finally, there was a teeny tiny wave and only like 4 people out. So then I go out and I think I surfed like an hour and a half or an hour. And then by the end of it, I think there was like probably 15 people in the water, but mostly all people that are learning to surf. And it was just so much fun. And I got this one wave that was so long. And I just love it when you get a long wave, because you just have so much time to do things, and like just to enjoy it rather than like literally a 3-second ride. So yeah, I'm so stoked I finally got to surf the pass. And then, I sat in the car park and like ate my breakfast there. And there was this like little gecko there. Well, not gecko, like a lizard. He kind of looked like a water dragon. I'm not sure. Anyway, I was feeding him my strawberries. Don't come at me. I know I probably shouldn't have fed him, but he was begging. He's just like sitting by the car, like staring at my strawberries. So I had to feed him. And it was just like the most wholesome morning. And then I went to get a matcha at Bayleaf, and I actually did not enjoy the matcha that I got because it was like coconut water, matcha foam, and like it wasn't milky. It was, yeah, anyway, I didn't like that. I should have just got the normal one. That's fine. Still love Bayleaf, the cafe. Still got great things. And then I went to a yoga class at Home Studio, I think it's called. Oh my God. I have not been to like a yoga class in a while because I was going to Downward Dog, but they're like hot yoga classes, and it was Bikram. So it's like the same flow, and then same as Ashtanga, same flow. Oh my God. This yoga has like almost like re-inspired my love for yoga. The girl's name was Sarah, and oh my God, it was the most beautiful flow. I was so present. Like I literally didn't think about anything other than what she was saying, which is insane. And the place itself was so beautiful. The incense that she was burning was beautiful. The music was incredible. Like I just have not been to a yoga class that I have absolutely adored in years, actually. Yeah. And just the whole experience of it was amazing. And I had obviously just moved state. I had just accomplished my free diving, and I had a lot of anxiety around the kind of last 2 weeks. And I had a lot bubbling up just with like just life, you know, just things like with Ziggy not being here anymore, and moving, and, you know, not knowing anyone down here except for one person. And the weather hadn't been good. Zach had gone to work so suddenly, and literally just so much change. And then like putting myself even more outside of my comfort zone with going diving again. And it's so funny because I don't get nervous at all when I go diving with my friends. But like, I think the test and like knowing I've paid to go and get my 10 meters, there was so much pressure and anxiety, and how the viz is going to be and what animals are going to be around. So I had so much like, I guess, stress and overwhelm and anxious feelings sort of bubbling up within me. So at the end of this yoga class, I had this massive wave of emotion come over me and come up and out of me. And I ended up crying, which I've never cried during a yoga class before ever. And it wasn't even like a Tegan, just try pretend to not cry, like just think of something happy, like just don't cry. I could not even do that. Like I could not talk myself out of it. And I'm really not a crier. Like people basically have to die for me to cry, and that's definitely changing, but I'm not like a big crier. Anyway, I could not stop myself, and yeah, I just laid in Shavasana, like tears just rolling down my face, and all of these thoughts and emotions coming up and out of me. And yeah, I kind of was a little bit embarrassed because I couldn't stop. Like, and I didn't want anyone to ask if I was okay because I knew exactly what would happen. I would like burst. So I like finished off the yoga practice with her, and it was just so beautiful. Like my body felt so safe to release and move, and we had moved so slowly and so intentionally through the practice that obviously asana help ignite and shift emotions out of the body. And we just finished off, and I basically just rolled my mat and tried to get out as quick as I could to get to the car, and then burst into tears. But it was just, it kind of felt really nice and beautiful that these emotions felt safe to be released and to finally release them, because obviously I was, you know, withholding emotion and they were stuck within my body. So yeah, that was really, really beautiful. I actually can't wait to go back to Byron purely just to go to her classes because they are so amazing. And yeah, so if you're ever in Byron and you want to go to an amazing yoga class, go to HOM, Haum, or maybe they say hum. I actually don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, it was amazing. I also went to the farm, which is kind of like a paddock to plate place. Got some snacks for the road and then drove myself home, which was good because then I had quite a few hours to process and just think on my own. And then now we're here. That's pretty much everything. So yeah, it's been a really big month of moving through everything. And honestly, just trying to get like a house feeling like a home is a job in itself. And, you know, unpacking everything, like I literally just unpacked the last 4 boxes a couple of days ago because we just don't have like all of the furniture that we want, because I kind of want to buy really good pieces so that eventually when we buy our house, we can take them. So I'm just like saving up for a few things rather than buying cheap things, but we got like the main things. And then, yeah, the other things are more like just storage, like the TV unit, a little buffet, and then a desk and like some drawers for the spare room, and probably a spare bed. Definitely a spare bed. So yeah, I've just been trying to set the house up and just like get back into routine, and yeah, just to get settled and move through everything that needs to be moved through. I wanted to share a couple of things that I've learned about moving. If you are just new to my little world, I move a lot. I left Victoria, where I was born, at the age of 18, and then I did about 13 years over in Western Australia. One of those years was actually spent in Europe, and another one of those years was spent in South Australia, living there. And then, yeah, a couple of years ago, me and my partner, we moved to Queensland, and now we are in New South Wales, which is just wild. And now I can say that have I lived in every state? Yes, because we lived in Darwin, and then we lived Queensland. Yep, I've lived in every state. Tassie probably doesn't count, as in like I can't count it. I haven't lived in Tasmania, so maybe we should add that to the list. It's so funny. It was just the week before we moved here, and I was saying to Zach, like, oh my gosh, like I've been looking in South Australia, like we should go have a little stint over there. And he's like, Tegan, we haven't even gotten to New South Wales and you're already thinking about South Australia. I'm like, I can't help myself. Like, this is how my brain works. And I didn't realize how intensely my brain thinks like this until I share it with Zach, because my friends are just used to it. I just move. Like, it's just is what it is. So anyway, we're not going to South Australia. We're staying here, and hopefully the next place we buy is relatively close to here. Who knows? Actually, who knows? Bloody put a bet on it for what I will do next. I've got no idea. So I want to talk about just some things that I really learnt with moving, and just some things to consider, and if you are wanting to move, how to make it happen. So first things first, I really want to mention that at any time in your life, any age, any career positioning, anything, you can always move. And I feel like I say that quite easily, and you might be like, yeah, Tegan, it's easy for you because you don't have kids or this career, like, you know, whatever career ladder thing that you're chasing, or animals. Like, it's so easy for you, you can just move. But the thing is, like, I know so many people that have moved with families, with animals, with their career, businesses even. Like, it's so possible, but we just limit ourselves. We just say, oh no, I couldn't, I'm so comfortable here, or no, I couldn't, my business is here, or no, the kids are in school. Like, there are so many people living on the road and their kids are homeschooled. There's so many families that have moved their kids from school to school as they move. And is it ideal? I don't know. What is ideal? And same, like my parents, they moved to Western Australia in their 40s with my little sister, and she was in grade 10, I think, when they moved. So like, everything is possible. We just limit ourselves. And I notice that when I am moving, people are always saying like, oh, I wish I could move, or I've always wanted to live there, or I've always thought about moving, and all of these things. And I'm like, just do it. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? you hate it, just move back. Like, it's always going to be there. And I just think if your soul is calling you for it, then just do it. Yeah, so if you're thinking that you really want to move, just do it. Like, it's not easy, but it's not hard. Like, you have to put a lot of things into place, and you have to, like, there's a lot of preparing and organizing, but it's so possible. So if you're thinking about it, don't limit yourself. You can do it. Now, the second thing that I really want to talk to, and I kind of really noticed this in the first few months, I would say, is that, like, starting again with friends is really tough. Community is so important in thriving, being happy, living this fulfilling life. Like, having community and friends, it's so important. And because Zach works away, I am, alone, you could say. And I do have my one friend who is my neighbor now, which is great. But I also don't want her to feel like she has to entertain me the whole time. And wouldn't be a good friend of me either. When you move towns, and I remember when we first moved to Queensland, like, I found it really hard in, like, trying to meet like-minded people and just trying to, like, become friends with people took so long. And then it's so funny now, when I left Noosa, I'm so sad that I've had to leave my friends, and, like, I'm not that far away, but I was genuinely really sad to leave my friends there, because I feel like, yeah, they are so beautiful and I love them so much. If you're listening to this, I love you so much. Now, being here, I'm like, I have no friends here. So it's just starting from scratch, and it's really tough. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, moving towns is amazing. Like, you should do it. Like, it's the best thing ever. I'm like, I have no friends. Like, I went to the beach yesterday on my own, which I actually love. Like, I love being alone and love doing my own thing. But I'm like, it'd be so good to have someone to go with. And Jess and I did go surfing the other day. But, like, I want to be real and say, yeah, making friends every time you have to move, it's tough. And making friends as adults, yeah, you have to, like, really put yourself out there to go and do the things to meet people. So I've already met a couple of people, which is amazing. But, like, becoming friends with people, it takes time, and you have to be really willing to put yourself out there and to continually, like, pursue the friendships and, like, put your energy in the right places to build the relationships. So yeah, if you are moving, or if you're in that season right now, just know that it will be okay and you will meet people. You just have to put yourself out there and be a good friend, so then you can attract good people as well. So yeah, I really wanted to mention that because I was talking to my friend yesterday about it, and I'm like, yeah, moving is great, but, like, you're starting again completely fresh. And yeah, because Zach works away, it makes things like I spend a lot of time alone. So there's that. And what I do, if people are curious, how I make friends is I join a gym, I go to yoga, and I do the same things. Like, I'll go to the beach the same times, or, like, not the same time every day, but, like, I'll go to the beach, I'll go to the same surf spots, and I'm just open. I just talk to people, I make eye contact with people, and I just chat to them, because you just never know what opportunity and what friendship will be made from that. And especially, like, because we were living in such a tight community, like, there were literally 24 people living in the beach village that we lived in. Like, we knew most of the people that lived there really well, because they were also out and about and walking the village or the tracks or the beach, or they were our neighbor. Like, you just get to know people from just being around your area. So if you are open to speaking to people, like, I try not to walk around with my AirPods in all the time, so I can literally be open to being communicated with. And yeah, I just say hi to everyone that I walk past and initiate conversation. And Zach is really good at this as well. Like, he will literally talk to a brick wall if he was allowed to. So yeah, just make yourself open. I have been looking at, like, maybe a sport to join or something along those lines. Zach is too. So then you can just become part of the community and meet like-minded people. Just put yourself out there, and it can be tough, and especially for a woman on your cycle, don't do it in your lead up to your period or during your period. Do it after, when you are feeling social. Put yourself out there and just see what comes and be patient, because it really does take effort and time to build really good relationships. But what I've noticed is if you're just a good person and you are straight up, like yourself and vulnerable, and you share things, like you just build relationships way easier than putting on a facade or trying to be who you think that they want you to be. Like, just be yourself and you will attract the right people. And the last thing that I want to mention is what you do daily is who you are. Like, I notice my routine is who I am. And the little things that you do daily create who you are and what you do on a day-to-day basis and what you prioritize. I just want people to reflect on what you're putting your energy and time into, and does that really serve you? Spend your days doing the things that bring you joy. And it got me thinking, because when I lived on the beach, I would spend so much time on the beach or just out in the garden and whatnot. And obviously in this place, it's slightly different. I have to like ride or walk to the beach. It's not like a minute and a half anymore. It's probably a minute and a half bike ride. Anyway, we don't have like that beautiful outdoor garden area that we used to. And there's also not that many options like Noosa. Like, if you think of Noosa, you have everything at your fingertips that you could possibly want, whether it's a dinner out, ice cream, a sauna, all different types of fitness classes, yoga studios, cafes, literally so much choice. And here is obviously quite different. And I was thinking, well, what do I do that I loved in Noosa that I want to bring here? And obviously I love my beach walks and swims, and I would love going to like a cafe and doing my work stints from there. And I realized the first couple of days, like, I really didn't go anywhere, mostly because I was unpacking and just trying to find homes for things and just organizing all of our things and stuff. And I didn't really go anywhere for a couple of days. And then if I was going somewhere, I was going to the shops and shopping for things and whatnot, which I do love, but like I was spending so much time indoors, and the weather was insane as well. Like, it was super windy, so it just wasn't pleasant to be outside. And I was thinking like, well, why am I not feeling really happy? Well, it's because I haven't spent much time outside. My beach walks have been really short because the wind has been so irritating and it's been cold and whatnot. And I was thinking, right, Tegan, well, you have to start doing the things that you do love doing. Like, you have to just go for your beach walk. Like, just put a coat on, you know, go and find your spot where you love walking, so then your walk still feels really good. Right, go find a surf beach that is your level, and go find the cafe that you feel cozy at. Like, I have to find things that I love doing rather than saying it's not here or I can't do it. And that's just helping you think the same. Like, what do you actually want to spend your days doing? Do you want to spend your day and drive 10, 15 minutes to your favorite beach rather than walk around the houses? Obviously, you want to go to the beach, so you make the time for it. Or would you rather go to the cafe like just down the road that you don't really like and it doesn't really do a good matcha? Or would you rather spend 8 minutes and drive to the other one and get your favorite matcha from there? It's like putting the effort in to go and do the things that you actually really want to do rather than settling for what you don't love. So just a reminder for me and for you that what you prioritize for the day is going to make you feel a certain way. So make sure that you're prioritizing the things that you do love and that fill you up with joy and happiness and love. And then that way you go to bed and you feel good, rather than going to bed being like, why am I here? Or I had a shitty day, or I'm not living in the right area, where we get to be the decider of how we create our day to day. It's fully up to us to curate the things that we want. So that is just your permission slip to drive that little bit extra to your favorite beach, or to pay a little bit extra for that yoga class that you really want to go to. Yeah, I think you get the flow. I'm going to end this podcast here because I feel like I've just been rambling. I hope those 3 little things just helped you with wherever you're at today, and let me know if they did, because I would just appreciate that so much. And if you haven't already, and if you've gotten this far, thank you, I love you. Learn to Meditate is starting on Monday, so when you listen to this. So if you're listening to this and you desperately want to get in, shoot me a message right now and I'll get you in. The link will be closed on Monday, but I will send you the link if you're listening to this. Thank you so much for listening. I love and appreciate you all for being here. And if you are new here, thank you so much for jumping into the journey with me. I am going to leave you there. I hope you have a fabulous Monday, a fabulous week, or whenever you're listening to this. Enjoy your life. Do the things that make your heart happy and shine in your authenticity. Bye.